This just in. This is your midweek update on the National Real Estate Cafe with Don Gatling and Gino Fronti, where you get your daily dose of real estate market updates.
He just loves making that sound, and I promise you, he hasn't even had that much coffee this morning. I'm the one that's been sucking in all the caffeine.
So here's your update. We know the big news was all about whether the Fed was going to raise interest rates. So all the figureheads, just like the picture here shows, we're all contemplating whether they should raise the rate. And like
Yeah,
Janet Yellen here, we're smiling because the answer, no change. That's
and I
good
think
news
this
for
is
all
good.
of us right now.
It's good monetary policy. We're in no means as an economy are we ready to upset the apple cart, so to speak. Things are chugging along. Things are getting better. Different states are doing better than other states, but as general, we're kind of creeping along and things are getting better. Anything to stand in the way of that would be negative, and it would be backwards to everything we've been doing for the last year and a half.
Yeah, and we're worried about the global economy more so than ours. Ours is chugging along, but we're hearing that China, India, and those sections, which are a huge portion of the global economy, basically they're the ones who've been booming the most. Well, they're slowing down now, and there's concerns that that's going to affect us here in the U.S.
It's cyclical, Don, right? So, a few years we were talking about Brazil was an emerging market. Most of South America was booming. Venezuela was booming, right? All of a sudden, those are completely off the market. Brazil's in big trouble because China was booming. And then now China and India, right? Huge consumption by growing and growing and growing. And now those are slowing down. So who's next, really? That's really what we need to ask ourselves.
All right. So since they did not change now, what are the Fed saying that they will change, and by how much? So when will it happen? How about this little cute chart we just got from them, basically stating that 13 out of the 17 feel that we're going to have a rate hike by the end of the year, Gino.
Yeah, you kind of have to agree with this mostly, but this might change, Don. The reality
has been changing all year.
Yeah, well, the thing is, they want to. They think we should. If it was solely based on the U.S. economy, we would. But until we see what happens abroad, we can't make a final decision. As we get closer, we'll keep you in the know. Just text NREC to the number 58885. You'll know daily, and you'll know when this is coming.
There you go. So if they do start moving, here's another little dot matrix, and these are actual. This chart shows what the voting Fed members are stating that they should and how much they should be raising interest rates over time. And what's cool is you can see it's very monitored, as Janet Yellen, head of the Fed, has always been saying that when we do raise interest rates, and they will, don't get too cocky, but they will, but it's going to be very moderated. You can see that it's going to be, on average, based on these dot matrix, you're looking at only a one going up 1.25% through 2016 and a whopping 3% between now and 2018.
So let's be clear on this. This does not have a direct effect on mortgage rates, but it does have an indirect effect on mortgage rates, and it does have a direct effect on consumer debt. So if you're holding a home equity line of credit, something to consider, something to do the math on, is that assuming this chart is correct, and by the end of 2018, we raise the Fed funds rate by 3%, that affects prime. So if prime goes up by 3% from where it is now, that means you're going to have most of these things are prime plus loans. So a home equity line is typically prime plus 2%, Don. So if you have prime plus 2%, you're paying 5.25% right now. That means you'd be at 8.25% by the end of 2018. So it's time to evaluate what that payment looks like. It's time to evaluate how you're going to pay that off and when you're going to pay that off, and see if it's a good time to wrap it all into one lump sum long-term first mortgage.
When rates are at all-time lows. Remember, these are short-term rates, as Gina always announces, meaning these are your car loans, equity loans, and credit card payments. This is not mortgage money, so don't panic that your interest rates on your home is going to go to 8.25%, because basically once these costs go up, usually the economy starts slowing down, and therefore rates go down. So don't panic yet. We're just preparing you for what will happen in the near future. You heard it right here on the National Real Estate Cafe with Don Gatling and Gino Fronti. Get these daily updates again by texting NREC to the number 58885.
Or check us out at nrecafe.com.